Howdy and hello everyone, I'm Ray, the Coast Critic, your reviewer. Have you ever been in a pickle like this?
What? How? Oh my god.
Well, gosh golly gee, do I have the antidote for you. It's called Skip the Lines. You can find them at almost any sort of theme park chain you can think of. Disney, Six Flags, Cedar Fair, they all have Skip the Lines. So, why don't you get out there and start skipping those annoying freaking lines today?
Skip the lines because waiting in the normal line just had to be even more annoying.
Oh, rub it in! Seriously, rub it in! Skip the Lines first came about when Disney, those big brains over there themselves, thought of that, people were kind of waiting a little bit too much at their two theme parks at the time. So they started testing out a system called Fastpass. Basically, where you had a time to return to the line at and a time you'd get the Fastpass, and once you came back at that return time, or like an hour after, then you could skip the entire line or most of the line that you're waiting in, and it would make it so people could have a lot more enjoyable visits at the Disney parks. This, of course, as we all know, went through really well. Fastpass was finally fully implemented in the early 2000s, and with only a few other issues, being that they installed it at way too many rides in the beginning, making it so people were just flooding the parks, people were able to have a lot more enjoyable visits at Disney parks. But all of the other chains, because, Fastpass was free at the time, and they all went, I smell money! And then everyone started implementing their own Fastpass systems to their own parks, mainly only big theme park chains, mainly Six Flags, Cedar Fair, Universal, and SeaWorld. They all implemented their own Fastpass system, but they required payment. But there was an upside to this, meaning that all of the quick queue, Fastlane, skip the lines, all of that stuff, all of those lines at their parks were completely empty, while the ones at Disney, there was always that chance that maybe the Fastpass line would still have a line, but maybe it'd be like only 10 minutes compared to freaking 110 minutes for soaring over California.
So let's start off with the first skip the line system to be implemented.
The Fastpass system. Now, thankfully, I don't have to go through the history of Disney's Fastpass because I literally just told you it like 10 minutes ago. Or, well, for you it's probably like a minute ago, but for me it's 10 minutes ago, so I don't know. Time is kind of weird when you're editing. Disney's Fastpass system had a very simple concept. You get a Fastpass, it tells you a return time and when that return time expires, and you just come back to the ride you got the Fastpass at when the return time comes. Making it so guests could spend time, say, if they got a Fastpass for Indiana Jones, they could go over to, say, Big Thunder Mountain, get a ride on that, then come back, and their Fastpass return time was right there and ready. So, it really made it so you could maximize the amount of rides you got at the Disney parks. It would mean that you could finally get a ride on Space Mountain! Listen, this was the early 2000s. Stuff like this was really impressive. But then Disney started making some changes to Fastpass. Now, thankfully, nothing was made to the OG Fastpass, but they did implement more systems. I'm not going to go into the freaking can of worms and beans that is the Disney Fastpass system history. I'll link a really good video in the description made by Defunctland. He really covers, like, all of the Fastpass history in that video. I'm simply breaking a brief over this because we have a limited time limit here, so, I can't go over it entirely. But they implemented some other systems that really did not improve the park experience at all, and these experiences did cost money. And then COVID happened. Of course, we all know what happened with COVID, or... oh, god dang it, I'm gonna have to censor that, aren't I? God dang it, Susan. We all know what happened with coronavirus. All of the parks closed, like, all of them closed, because, come on, we had to pretty much shut down everything for COVID. Whether that was necessary or not, I'll leave that up to politics to figure that one out. All of the parks shut down no matter what anyone else says, and this gave Disney some time to really think about the condition of their parks. Not only were they given the reputation of being the packed, overcrowded place where the most stylish sort of wear was cargo pants and a sweaty t-shirt, they really thought about their condition of their parks, and thought, maybe there's a way that we could improve the Fastpass system and make it really good for us. So they decided on Lightning Lane. Lightning Lane is basically, as best as I could describe it, Fastpass, but you have to pay for it. Yeah, I know, it's like the one thing that everyone praised Fastpass about. It was free, and they literally just took that away, because modern day Disney just has to be like that, I guess. Lightning Lane had the exact same system as Fastpass. You got a time to return at, a time when that return time expires, you could go do some other stuff at the park, and then come back when that return time came. But there was a catch to it. Disney Genie Plus. Now, Disney Genie Plus, I would recommend, but on a few conditions. The first one being, Disney Genie Plus does not support, at least at Disneyland, Radiator Springs Racers or Rise the Resistance. Now, if I check the wait times... Oh yeah, those are the most popular rides in the park! Now, of course, this costs money. Now, this money, thankfully, you can pay, because, honestly, if you're going to a Disney park, you better freaking be stocked up on cash like you're freaking Scrooge McDuck, because we all know that Disney parks are the most expensive things just ever. Like, me being a California resident, I'm lucky that we are able to just, you know, get a tad bit of a discount with being California residents. But if you're not a resident of the state that your park is in, Disney park is in, good freaking luck. Now, the other thing I forgot to mention about Disney Genie Plus is that it actually gives you unlimited lightning lanes for the rides that it supports, which, as I mentioned before, are not Rise the Resistance or Radiator Springs Racers, the most popular rides in the park. So yeah, that's kind of a thing that Disney did that I don't like too much. Once again, there are a lot of things that I have not mentioned here that I'm not going to get into. There are tons of videos online talking about stuff like that, well, I'm only linking one in the description, as I said before, but you could probably go down that rabbit hole yourself, because we need to get on to the next skip the line system.
The next skip the line system that we're going to be talking about, also the most expensive one on this list,
is Six Flags' Flashpass. Now, the Flashpass is sort of similar to Disney's Fastpass. There are tons of times when I've mixed up Flashpass with Fastpass. I know, I'm pretty sure Six Flags purposely made it really similar to Fastpass to make it more of a familiar brand so that people would know what it did. But I mean, like, it's also maybe because they kind of had to use those DC characters, so, you know, Flash, skip the lines like the Flash. Pretty good. What you would do is you would basically get this watch. Now, this costs money. It can vary. There are 3 levels of Flashpass: Bronze, Gold, and Platinum. Bronze usually costs around $50 to $60. Not good, but it's not the worst. Gold costs around $80 to $90, and Platinum is around $100. Yeah, a lot of days this is not worth it, even when you're not willing to wait in a 30-minute wait for Sus Coaster. Now, the Flash Pass works pretty well. You will get a amount of time till you can actually get into the Flash Pass line, which for Bronze is around 40 minutes, Gold is around 30 minutes, and Platinum can be around 20 to 15 minutes, which I guess gives you some incentive to actually get the higher ones so you can get on the rides faster. Though I would honestly just suggest getting Gold. It really is not that much of a hassle having to wait 30 minutes for Tot Soup. So you can just pretty much do whatever you want in that sort of 30 minutes, walk around the park, take some pictures, scuff at the really low amount of lighting, and then when your return time comes, you just get in the Flash Pass line. Now, these Flash Pass lines, they are, well, they're not like Disney's. Disney will actually give you a designated line. A lot of the times with the Flash Pass lines, they're just the exit of the ride. Like, you can find this pretty much everywhere at Six Flags parks. most of the time, there'll be a sign telling you, oh yeah, this is where the Flashpass is, and it won't be right next to the entrance. When I got a Flashpass for Tatsu, I literally had to search for the Flashpass line, and then I realized it's literally just the exit of the ride, except you go through a gate that you definitely didn't think was only for staff members. And while I'm still on the topic of Flashpass, I want to mention once again about the different levels. If you get silver, then you will pretty much you will not have access to every single ride. Like when I got my first Flashpass, when I went to Magic Mountain, X2 and West Coast Racers were gold and platinum only rides, which is why we got the gold instead of the silver, because I wouldn't have been able to get a Flashpass for X2 despite the fact that X2 just was down the entire day because Aero 4th Dimension coasters that are prototypes are problematic. Who the freak would have guessed?
Now let's move on to the next Skip the Line system.
Cedar Fair's Fastlane. Now, I've only used Fastlane once, just like the Flashpass, which was during my one visit to California's Great America, and I could say that the Fastlane is better than Six Flags' Flashpass. And here's why. Fastlane, first of all, does not cost as much money and only has 2 levels instead of 3, which actually makes a lot of difference because Fastlane only costed around $25, and I already told you the prices for Flashpass, and yeah, $25 compared to $100 is a very big difference. Now, it isn't free like the Fastpass, or at least like the Fastpass was. But it is still good. And the thing about Cedar Fair's Fastlane is you don't even need a return time. You just go to a ride. Like, I was able to get 8 rides on Railblazer. 8 rides on Railblazer. Because I just continuously was just using that Fastlane, just going over and over and over and over again. Because that Fastlane works really well. Now, of course, like all Fastpass systems that I've actually forgotten to mention up to this point, it does not continue in the station, which I think would be pretty easy to fix, like make a separate line for each row for Fastlane or Flashpass or Fastpass users. Just always like make a second line, but then again, that would cause them to close the ride down, get the stuff, do the thing, and it wouldn't really make that much of a difference. But I still think it would be a little bit more of an improvement to convenience. Now, I could definitely say Cedar Fair's Fastlane is definitely one of the best skip the lines. So now that's pretty much all I have to say. So on to the next one.
Now we have the Skip the Line that is being used in the park that this video that you're seeing was taken in.
We have SeaWorld's Quick Queue. Now, I have actually used this multiple times, just like the Fastpass or Lightning Lane. And I can say that it works pretty well. And once again, just like Cedar Fair, you don't have a return time on this one. You can just go whenever you want, which definitely also elevates this one. Now, unlike Cedar Fair, the price varies depending on the amount of crowds per day. Like, for example, on a very low crowd day, it could probably be $5, but on a high crowd day, it will probably be like $25 because obviously people aren't going to be willing to spend $25 to skip a line for freaking Grover's Boxcar Derby. They aren't going to want to spend that much money to skip that line. So, they will very obviously wait in the standard line. So, doesn't make much sense to just have $25. They could still make money if it was lower priced and people would still pay, but they would be like, I'm not gonna wait 15 minutes for Journey to Atlantis. I am going to spend some money to get a Journey to Atlantis quick queue. And they get that quick queue and, you know, it goes well. Now, SeaWorld's Quick Queue is very similar to Cedar Fair's Fastlane, so I don't really have much more to say about Quick Queue. You pay for it, you go on the ride, you have a good time. So now, let's rank up all of the scores.
In last place, we have the Flashpass. In second place, we have Lightning Lane. And both in first place, we have the Fastlane and Quick Queue.
Yep, that's right. It's a tie between SeaWorld's Quick Queue and Cedar Fair's Fastlane. You're probably thinking, why didn't I put the OG, Fastpass, Lightning Lane? I really do think that wasn't a good move by Disney to make Lightning Lane cost money. Like, why did they need to do that? They're Disney. They have enough money already. They're like the biggest movie company in the world. They have enough money already. So, you know, I had to just put that one lower because I feel like they really could have done better there. But, yeah, it's a tie between SeaWorld and Cedar Fair. Y'all can debate that in the comments. But I think that's going to be it for this video. So, I was Ray the Coast Critic, you're the viewer, and I'll see you in the future. Goodbye.